Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Luke again and Nick. And today we're going to be talking about Eyelight and the different ways to recreate it. The creme de la creme of any good shot. The eyes are the window to the soul, which is why it's such an important but not always noticed part of the lighting setup, but makes up for some of the best shots in cinema. We're going to start off with our silver bounce that's just going to be far away, to our circle bounce, or now the lemon bounce, to one of my favorite ways to do it, which is the 60 watt unit with the lantern on it, to the MC Pro, the DP's favorite because they're lazy. No, I'm just kidding. And then one of my friends, Jackson Jarvis, who's a great DP, I worked on a film with him last year, and he came up with something that is appropriately called the Christmas tree. And today, to test out these different forms of Eyelight and which is best, Nick is going to be directing a little scene for us.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. This other night I was watching a really classic TV show, and there's a really perfect scene that just happened to be on right when we were talking about doing this. So I thought a perfect way to do a shootout of the different types of Eyelight would be recreate that scene. So why don't we just take a look at it?
I love it. I'll get the popcorn if you get the screen.
All right.
I definitely got the easy job. All right, a minute and a half or popcorn. Best not to overcomplicate it.
God damn it. I don't know why I thought that was gonna fit. All right.
Are you kidding me? It says popcorn time. When the whole bag blows up, it says popcorn time. I feel an odd stinging sensation on my face.
Give me your account. So it's like interesting. He didn't direct any of this stuff. He produced it.
So wait, what are we watching?
We're watching Alfred Hitchcock Presents is the full title of the show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn it.
Wow, I've never seen someone open a bag of popcorn like that.
Really? You don't seriously believe, do you, that the great bio or whatever the greenhouse novelty company that sent Thomas package is owned and operated by 6-foot-tall mushrooms from another planet?
Good heavens, Cynthia. There is some connection between Roger, mushrooms, special delivery telegrams, Mrs. Goodbuddy, the whole works.
How could they run a mail order business? Take over the world.
There is a way for mushrooms to grow arms and legs. What if a man wandering through the swamp picked them up and ate them?
So this is the shot coming up.
You didn't eat any of them yourself?
Yes, I did.
It's got portobello munchies.
Yeah, it's the one right off of the pizza too.
Right here.
Oh, that's the Eyelight. Whoa.
That is...
That's wicked. That's Martian.
Hungry, aren't you?
He's eating a mushroom sandwich.
Yeah,
Yes,
it looks like a pizza mushroom.
Who in their right mind eats a mushroom sandwich?
So that was the motivation. That's the shot.
Yeah, so we're gonna recreate that scene of the child, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's that.
All right.
Yeah, it's this.
Okay. And
Which
then
I could watch
when he
this
walks
over and
into
over
it.
again. I just think it's so impressive how they got it's so beady.
I think it was a big source because usually the Eyelight's not that pronounced.
Yeah. So how did they get that in just his eyes?
That does look like the Eyelight is giving the motivation.
And he's just like out of the way.
That's a double duty thing. I think the light's close to him. That's why it's so big in his eyes.
Are they like bouncing it from the bottom?
I think it's just a flag, yeah.
Above him.
I think it's like he just walks into it.
The shape of the light when he walks into it looks like he's passing a flag.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's such a hard cut.
Okay, so that's the goal.
So now we gotta find somewhere in the studio to do this.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't think it's over here anymore? Or?
No, I was just acting like we never actually set
Oh,
it up. Like, I was acting like we didn't set that up yesterday, knowing what we were gonna do today.
Like, look, we just talked about this.
Oh, man.
We're trying to recreate the lighting in basically the perspective of you're on the stairs going down into the basement. The basement has, I think, a single light or something, whether that's like you know, maybe the moon through the window, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a tiny bit of a sort of a backlight.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is like pretty much total darkness. So you have like a tiny backlight with a light which might be, you know, you don't really see the source, but it might be just the lamp on the top of the stairs or something.
Right.
So we have those two sources to work with. We decided that this is probably like the darkest part of the studio, right?
Yeah.
This hallway. So we're basically gonna just try to recreate that lighting here, which would be the easiest.
I think so too, yeah, because this is a pretty much a fully daylight studio, unless we get the prep day to like black all the windows out and everything. But this I think is going to work really well, and we kind of preset a couple of things here. The idea to recreate that scene is that you're going to be standing right over here, and then I'm going to use a Leco light to kind of lay up the background, kind of how the brick was lit up. In the back of that, there's a spot for us to test out the different eye lights and see what that does. So I think it's a good thing. We're going to have to black out, which we kind of did a little bit of this. We're going to have to do a lot of negative fill to kind of get that level of darkness, and then we'll shoot in black and white for everything, just to be in theme with the whole thing.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I think we're going to have to do a few more things. We're going to probably have to black out down here in the hallway, and you know, really black out some stuff out here too. So a couple of bigger rags that we're going to have to do before we can start filming.
All right, cool.
All right, cool.
Let's see what we can do.
To the van.
All right, so
Look at that, easy, and it's just a...
staring at a microwave. I gotta tell you, this is fun because it's like, you know, one of the coolest things is like learning how old certain like lighting traditions are. You know, if you don't know much about the history of it, you might think that certain techniques are like kind of modern.
Yeah.
And then you find out that like, oh no, it was pretty common like 60 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
So far, we have blacked out as much of the natural light in the studio as possible. We've set up the Aputure 600D with a 26-degree spotlight for the backlight on the back wall, and then we did a Nanette Pavo Slim 120C for a face light outside of our Eyelight sources we're going to be playing with.
Shaping white is time consuming. A lot of high contrast, so you're gonna have like this that plays against that, and then you're gonna have the Eyelight, so it really pops.
This being the crew bathroom on a set, that'd be hilarious. The grip dropping a fat load.
Can you imagine? Wouldn't that be funny? Poop jokes, man.
You'll start to feel it.
I like this right here. This is sick.
Oh, yes. This is it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
All right, cool. You're going to have to help me set up the Eyelight every time.
That's fine.
All right, cool.
That's fine. I got my marker. We're good to go.
All right, cool.
I know where to stand.
So the idea with this one, and this is how I used to do it all the time, is you would set this up a lot farther away from the actual subject you were filming, and then you would just get a light going directly into this and not spilling around it. You wouldn't be looking to reflect light at your subject and actually get spill from it, but this fully lit up object would reflect in the eye, and then that's how you would create Eyelight. We are on a no stinger diet today.
It's Big Stinger. Just want.
It's what?
It's Big Stinger.
It's Big Stinger energy?
Yeah, they wanted the market for
Oh,
themselves.
you have like like Big Pharma.
Yeah.
And we're canceled. Yep, we got one Eyelight now. We're good. Love it. That's great. That's really great. All right. So I think that looks really good, honestly. That's like the nice, subtle Eyelight.
It's too subtle for what we're trying to accomplish. The shot is awesome.
But it's too subtle for trying to like actually do it. So that doesn't work as well for this exact scene.
Well, actually, I can see it better now, but
Yeah.
it needs to be more intense.
It does need to be more intense. So we can do the change. We can actually just move the bounce up closer and see if that changes it for us. Yeah, that's gonna do a lot more. It's blinding me right now. Can I get a courtesy here? Damn. Come on. That's pretty cool. You definitely get like a big kick off of this, but I like it.
How is it in the beginning?
It's good. It's still, the whole thing is that even though this is really big because it's a reflected source, and I'm pretty sure in that it was like a source itself, and it was very close. That's why I do think the MC or the lantern is going to end up being the better Eyelight in this situation.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool.
Which one do you like more? Did you have a preference of the two versions?
I liked it farther back.
Okay.
I liked it a lot farther back this time because it doesn't spill into the scene. Because for this Eyelight to spill in the scene, it's literally pushing the light on you. Yeah, so this is the lemon bounce. This is what you would normally do is when they call for a circle bounce on set, you're gonna send your third or someone, they're gonna be on the truck, they're gonna take a 4x4 B-board and they're gonna cut it into the shape of a circle. I did not do that. I cut it into a lemon. Anyway, so the idea of this is changing the actual shape of it because the Eyelight that you're getting, sometimes you can actually see what the Eyelight is, the shape of the Eyelight. Like you can kind of tell if it's a window, if it's like a skylight or something, or if it's like headlights or something. So the idea behind this is to create just like a circle Eyelight that's more pleasing to the pupil. To the people and the pupil.
The people's pupil.
The people's pupils. All right, so
this is how you know we haven't had lunch yet.
This one is working pretty well. We're gonna bring the whole thing a lot closer and we're gonna angle it differently. So it's actually not lighting you so much, but very similar to what this unit's doing. So we're gonna kind of create like a down light right here, I think. So we'll just kind of pull this way down. All right. So this is absolutely painful for me, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I like that. I actually like the circle bounce in this situation more than the last one. So we're getting closer and closer. I think our next actual sources for recreating this type of Eyelight is going to be the ticket, honestly. Mm-hmm. That's going to match it more than anything. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, like this, in a traditional sense of creating an Eyelight for a dark space, I probably would be doing some, like this is something I really like.
Yeah.
And I like it because I'm not really exposing your face whatsoever with this, and that's kind of the beauty of the bounces. Like from a certain distance and a certain angle,
you don't get as much fall off from the actual bounce itself. When you go to the close-up of the eye, you get to see that that circle really is a lot more prominent than the square was.
All right, so this is my personal favorite way of doing Eyelight on set, and that is doing this 60 watt unit, which for this I'm using a Kolber 60 watt bicolor system. I think the CRI and the actual look of the light here was really nice. I always have it pointed at the ground, and I use the globe itself, the lantern here, to be a catch light, while this actually adds some dimension to the scene by doing a ground bounce, and it feels a little more real. So I use this in narrative a lot. I don't know if I'd use it in commercials much. It just kind of depends how realistic we're trying to go. But for narrative work, I love this, absolutely love this. Excuse me while I blow my nose and cough like the rest of the country. All right, Nick, get yourself in position, would you? So what I really like about this bounce situation too is it actually doesn't add too much ambient to the character, because even though you get something here, you have to be really, really close to get it. All the direct light is coming out the bottom, so nice thing. And you also, if you don't want to get that ground bounce, you could just do the bottom of this and not have to worry about it. So I like how versatile this actually ends up being, and I actually have doubled up some unbleached muzz on this to make it even softer, and the whole thing is, it's still like a pretty big source. Like it's soft and I can get it really close to the talent, like really close. If you look at this shot right now, like we have that beautiful big Eyelight right when Nick walks up, and then if Nick walks back again, right there, like you can see just the Eyelight in his eyes. Like it lets you make out exactly, it's that kind of deadness in the eyes with just that little bit of light, like in the show, you know.
Yeah,
this worked really well.
So we'll do the
Still the king. Sorry.
We'll do the Christmas tree now.
No. Now we're gonna move on to the MC Pro. We're using the MC Pro with this dome attachment, is one way I call it. So that makes it a lot softer. I have heard of, there's another attachment that someone else makes or people handcraft it, and it's a big like round like mini lantern that goes around this that people call the boob. But I don't have the boob, so we're going to be doing just with what comes with the MC Pro. So that actually looks pretty good. It is a lot more subtle, and the whole thing is because we're really close, the lantern did work better because it was a bigger source in your eye. So that got us a lot closer to what we're trying to recreate. This isn't bad by any means. This does look really good. And obviously what we're recreating is a very accentuated eyelight, like probably the most accentuated eyelight I've ever seen. So this is kind of positioning here. Nick, do you want to step back to your one? Right there. Yeah. So I would have to turn up this light quite a bit to actually get the eyelight on him, which I'm getting right now. The only problem is for the amount that I actually need to turn this up, I would it's way too much light by the time Nick gets close to camera to his second mark. So this actually does not work as well in this situation. This works really well when you're maintaining a consistent distance from the camera to your subject, or like a smaller distance change. For this, going from far away to closer and trying to maintain that really strong highlight this far back, it doesn't work as well, because by the time he comes up to his second mark, it's too bright to be able to reach over there. Whereas the lantern, being a much bigger source, his eyes were catching a slight reflection from farther back. So by the time he still had like that subtle but strong, not subtle, he still had that sort of strong highlight when he was in the shadows. So this one does not work as well. Yeah. So far, the lantern has been the best version we've done.
Yeah, if it was like that same intensity, it would come in.
Yeah, you come in, you are severely. Whoops, I can
And
also.
that's just too much.
Yeah,
I
you
can
have
just
like
feel it.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we have one more way to test, and that is the Christmas tree.
Just in time.
Just in time, because
Yeah.
it's 2 weeks after Christmas.
Silent night, holy night. Oh.
The idea behind this, though, was from my friend Jackson. He got the idea for doing Eyelight this way because whenever he goes out with his friends, he was telling me he'd be outside the bar and they'd have these kind of lights just kind of hanging around the awning. And he would notice they would always have the most beautiful highlight whenever he took a picture of them. These kind of lights were out. There was street lights and stuff, and it was just the mess of different lights that created this beautiful sparkle in the eyes. So that's the idea of this, is to have, instead of one source, many little sources. And then this creates like a sparkle effect rather than a single source highlight, which is kind of cool.
I'm just reminded of we were unveiling it the first time we shot this.
Oh no.
And Lucas is saying like, oh, I wonder why we don't use these anymore. And as he's pulling it out of the box, he drops it and shatters 2 bulbs. And he goes, and that's why we don't use them anymore.
So we are definitely getting it. So from this close up, I'm just gonna have you stay right there, Nick. You can actually see in the close up of his eyes that you're getting this very different structure. You're not getting that like normal circle. You're not getting the normal bounce card, not window. It's this very abstract looking thing. You can even kind of like shake it up a little bit, but it looks really cool in the eyes. So this looks really nice for a close up like this. And then Nick, let's have you walk back. Now, obviously, we're still getting that light in his eyes from farther back, but it's not as strong as it was before. And we can't make this really too much stronger because these are nowhere near as bright as the other units on set. And if we make this too strong, we don't really have control of where it's spilling to, so it ends up lighting everything up. But Nick, let's have you do the move. Yeah, I think that looks really, really nice. It's really pretty. It works really well. Obviously, this is a close distance thing as well, and like how you frame your shot.
All of these examples of Eyelight that we did today are fantastic, but I think my favorites really are the lantern and the lemon bounce. The Christmas tree is really cool, but unfortunately it only works in so many situations, but I love that extra little thing you get out of it that's so different from everything else. I've been wanting to do this test for a really long time because
it's really showing that all these versions of doing Eyelight are great. There's not like one that's better than the other. There's just some that are better for different situations, which is what we really learned here. But I think while we have this all set up and it's been so pretty on the red here, I'm gonna get a picture of you on the GFX.
All right, I don't mind that at all.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go grab it right now. And one of Will too. Chill, Will. Oh, this is great. Oh my God. I can't get over how... Oh, and Nikki, you got the collar too?
Once there were 3 bakery boys, Luke, Will, and Nick, who had a secret passion, filmmaking. By day, they kneaded dough and baked croissants, but by night, they crafted short films in the back of the bakery. Nick, the most photogenic among them, was always the star of their films. With his striking looks and natural charm, he could make even the simplest scene look cinematic. They filmed on weekends, turning the bakery into a set, and soon the films began to gain attention. The Bakery Boys, as they were known, became famous not just for their pastries, but for their quirky, captivating films.
That's all for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification icon for the new videos that are going to be coming out very soon. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Peace.
La nuit est si longue devant ce Martini. Une femme voit son présent qui n'est